guys, welcome to my latest video. And as you can see from the video title description thingamajigamy, it is my thoughts on Stomping Grounds, which was this Sunday just gone. I couldn't stay up late to watch the pay-per-view live on the network as I had a lot of stuff to do yesterday, which meant that I couldn't watch the pay-per-view yesterday. So I managed to watch it today because I had the house to myself. So here is my review video of it. First off, I'm just going to say I'm not really keen on the actual name of the event, Stomping Grounds. Just don't know, it just seems like they're really clutching at straws. I mean, I know it's a common saying, I don't know about you guys in the States, but over here, if you go back to somewhere where you grew up, you could say, oh, yeah, it's my old stomping ground. I've said that myself. But as a pay-per-view name, I just don't think it made sense. So, yeah, I'm going to quickly run through the card. I'm not going to go too in-depth on the matches themselves because... well, I'm just not, basically. So the first match, the opener, was Lacey Evans challenging for the Raw Women's title against Becky Lynch. It was an average match. There were a couple of cock-ups in botches, as whatever you want to call them, in there. There was an audible back elbow call from Becky Lynch, which you'd expect better of her, to be honest. And then when she went into the corner, and back elbow of Lacey didn't follow her any time, so Becky had to do this kick move twice, which made her look stupid. You could see it on her face. If you haven't already seen the meme and what have you that's going around on social media, go back and sort of watch that sequence of events, and you can see Becky as she goes to the ropes is just fuming. Choreographed it quite well to cover it up on commentary, but it was blatant to any of us who've been watching wrestling for a long time. So yeah, average match, nothing special. Becky retained. Next up, we had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Big E and Xavier Woods. Now, I've not been watching Raw or SmackDown. I've literally just been watching the last few pay-per-views, and I'm binge watching NXT UK, trying to catch up on that so I can start watching that weekly. And I'm going to start watching NXT, so I'm going to sort of go back and probably start from after TakeOver 25 and catch up on those as well. But I haven't been watching Raw or SmackDown because basically from what I've seen from the last couple of events that the main roster have put on, I'm not really missing much, and anything that's relevant to a storyline and pay-per-view, they usually show you in a recap video anyway, so I just don't see the point of wasting 4 hours or 3 hours, sorry, for Raw, 2 hours SmackDown, like 5 hours. I just don't see the point of wasting it really, and just being reduced to tears from what I've heard from a lot of people. So yeah, Zayn Owens versus Big E, Xavier Woods. As soon as I found out who Owens and Zayn were facing, I was immediately backing them, and it looked like they were going to get a really quick win. But for some reason, Xavier Woods kept kicking out. Plenty of back and forth, and just when you thought New Day were going to do it, didn't happen. But Owens and Zayn got the win in the end. I was really happy about that because, anybody who's been watching my channel knows I just can't stand the New Day. I've not liked them since they got together, and I think Kofi is so much better than that. Even Big E, I think they need to disband it now. They need to do something. Just let them all go their separate ways again, because they're not a New Day. It's just, I think it's run its course. It's a lot of the fans seem to be turning on them now, and they don't seem to be audibly cheering for him anymore. So yeah, just let it go. So yeah, they lost. Happy days. Next up was Ricochet and Samoa Joe for the US title. Now again, I've not seen any build up apart from the recap they showed from Raw. This was a really good match. I really enjoyed it, and Ricochet getting the win was a complete surprise. I have no problem with him being US champion, no problem at all. From what I've seen of him on pay-per-views and stuff like that, I never got to see him in NXT because he debuted last year, and like I said before, I wasn't watching wrestling last year. So, but yeah, I have absolutely no problems with Ricochet as US champion. It was nice backstage to see people congratulating him, and Triple H coming over. There is another photo of that on social media. It shows you Ricochet as a kid meeting Triple H, and then it's sort of a photo, two photos and a split, and it shows you when Triple H put his head to his. So it's like all those years later, keep dreaming, work hard, blah 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 blah, and good shit will happen. So yeah, Ricochet, new US champion. No problem with that. I like Joe, but yeah, No issues with that at all. Next up was Heavy Machinery versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I like Heavy Machinery. They debuted in NXT just before I finished watching it, and I quite enjoyed them. I thought they had that nice little combination of, could have a laugh, but could also get the job done. That was mentioned a lot in commentary about how they seem to be too focused on having a laugh and that, but I thought they put on a really good showing. They fell short in the end. Bryan and Rowan retained. But yeah, I mean, that was another good match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was one point when I actually thought Heavy Machinery were going to do it, but wasn't to be. But yeah, like Corey Graves said on commentary, sometime in the future, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they become tag team champions, because they are a really, really good team. I just hope they don't go down the drain like a lot of other NXT call-ups have. So next up we had Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Now, I've somewhat become, I wouldn't say an Alexa Bliss fan, but I don't mind her now. I used to have a bit of a thing where I just didn't like her, but I have absolutely no issues with her now. I think she's pretty cool. She's a heel. She does what she does. She makes you hate her. But yeah, and she's really good at what she does. So whoever walked out with that match, the winner, I would have had no problem with. In the end, Bayley retained. It was a good match. I thought the Nikki Cross interference was a bit unnecessary, but why have somebody in a corner and not have them get involved? So yeah, it's WWE, it's what they do. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. Quite enjoyed it. And yeah, Bayley retained, but I'm pretty sure we'll see those two go at it again, because why not? And if you wonder why I keep looking down, it's because I had to sort of write down the match card when the order of the matches, because like I've said before many times, my memory is absolutely shocking. So then we had, they showed a video of the 24/7 title when Drake Maverick, or Rockstar Spud as I know him as, beat R-Truth for it with a roll up, and then R-Truth won with a roll up at Drake Maverick's wedding. R-Truth lost the title with a roll up to Jinder Mahal on the runway, so they might as well just call it the roll up title, because that's how everybody seems to win it. Just my opinion. But yeah, no, it's a lot of people slate it, for what it is, but I think it brings a bit of comedy back into it, and R-Truth's just been brilliant from what I've seen, and from what I've heard. People are absolutely loving him as a champion, as much as they despise the championship. They're absolutely loving R-Truth as a champion. It does hark back to the old hardcore 24/7 rule days, but it's nowhere near as good. Those were some really, really, really good days, and I think they're trying to sort of relive that. But again, it's one of those things that it needs something special for people to really sort of get behind that title. And I think at the moment it's just a novelty comedy title that's just designed to put a bit of light humour into the cards and stuff. So yeah, then we had Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Obviously Drew had Shane in his corner, Reigns on his own. A very physical match, which with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre you kind of expect Shane interfering, but in the end Reigns came out with a win. Now I don't know if it's just me, I'm not sure if this has been said by anybody else out there on YouTube, but it just seems, from what I've seen, and like I said, I've not been watching SmackDown or anything like that, so I don't know the exact ins and outs, but it just seems that they're trying to sort of relive the Austin McMahon rivalry, but obviously they can't do it like they did then, between Shane and Roman. So it's like Shane's got Drew with him, and then after the match, well, a bit later on, sorry, it showed you Shane saying that Roman's going to face him and Drew the next night on Raw, which will have been Monday just gone. So yeah, it just seems like it's like a half-assed Austin McMahon 2.0 diet version, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it just seems very, very similar, very familiar, and I suppose it's a good way of keeping Shane in the spotlight, and obviously getting his coast to coast and kept him in the spotlight, which does run in the McMahon family genes. Then we had Dolph and Kofi in the cage match. The cage match. There's a possibility for something. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE don't do that at some point. Yeah, cage match. I didn't know what to expect for this match. I knew it'd be good because both guys in it are good. Like I said, I just wish Kofi would leave New Day, or they'd turn on him, or something would happen, because Kofi is so much better than that crappy worn out gimmick. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good, and the way that Kofi escaped the cage at the end was just, well, it was different. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that before. Dive over somebody to get out first. But yeah, Kofi retained. I was half expecting Lesnar's music to kick in, but it wasn't to be. Ended up celebrating with the two douche canoes, and off he toddled into the sunset. And then next up was Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins. Baron Corbin is just, to me, it's just boring. From what I've, like I said, I've not seen Raw. I can only go on what people have said, but the majority of people have said that they just find Baron Corbin boring. And I must admit, when he came down in his entrance and everything, and there's just nothing about him anymore. I liked the badass lone wolf one when he came down in the biker gear and all that sort of stuff. I thought it was brilliant then, but coming down in a shirt and it's just, it's not Baron Corbin, but if he's happy doing it, then fair play. Now this match, I'm going to go through it with some points that I picked up on that everybody else will have, and I would imagine I'm going to go out on a limb and say 95% of people think the same as me. Choice of referee, bullshit. Getting into the match and then letting Corbin wail on Rollins with a chair, then starting the match, bullshit. Then when Corbin got put through the table, Lacey Evans got up to a count of about 8 and then decided, oh no, there's going to be no count outs. Bullshit. Then she decided it would have been no disqualifications so that Corbin could wail on Rollins a bit more with the chair. Bullshit. Then finally Becky shows up, floors Lacey Evans, we get a proper refereeing, and Rollins retains. I had absolutely no problem with that. I was well happy with that because, like I said, I just don't find this version of Corbin at all interesting. And again, I was waiting for Lesnar's music to kick in. Didn't happen. Now, I'm not sure how legit it is. We were supposed to believe that Becky and Seth are a couple, but I'm sorry, but there just doesn't seem to be any chemistry between them to me. Like you've had couples in the past, Cena and Nikki Bella. You could tell. Daniel Bryan and Brie, you could tell they were together. Hell, Dean Ambrose and Renee Young, or whatever her surname is now, it'd be good. But you could tell they were a couple, especially when they introduced it into the storyline. But between Seth and Becky, they just, after she came down and got rid of the dodgy ref, there just didn't seem to be any chemistry between them. I mean, she actually slapped his ass, but every number of female friends that have done that to me in the past, it just doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I just didn't see the chemistry between them. Happy that Rollins retained and carried on his reign as Universal Champion. Like I said, Lesnar's music didn't kick in, so I was happy. Overall, very average pay-per-view. Slightly better than the Super Showdown, which I didn't do a review video on because I didn't want to waste the electric that it'd take to charge up my laptop to film it, or the time it'd take to edit it, just to give my thoughts on an absolute piss poor pay-per-view. But yeah, I thought a couple of good matches on this card, but overall it was average. Again, another main roster thing that's just been average. Money in the Bank was alright. Super Showdown was terrible. This was average. Yeah. NXT TakeOver 25 I thought was great. Like I said, the women's match slightly let it down for me, but I haven't really got into the women's division. I'll rephrase that sounds a bit dodgy. I haven't seen much of the women's division from 2018 to sort of get an idea of how everybody is and how they go about things. Their character traits is, I suppose, the best way of saying it. But yeah, average pay-per-view. The only highlight for me was no Lesnar, because I'm pissed sick of seeing that guy. Like I said, at the end of the Money Bank, it was disgusting how he just walked down, threw Mustafa Ali off, lightened the ladder, climbed up and got the briefcase, and he laughed, and that just, to me, was a middle finger from him and Vince to all the fans and the rest of the roster. But yeah, average pay-per-view at best. There was an advert for Extreme Rules on during it. Hopefully that'll be better. Not holding my breath, but we shall see. So yeah, that'll do it for this video, guys. It's just a quick review of Stomping Grounds. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for taking the time out. So those of you who subscribe to my channel, thank you very much. It means a lot. And I will be back soon with a new video. I have a couple of things in the pipeline that I will be working on the first chance I get. So keep your eyes peeled for those when those go up. And if you have any suggestions for videos or anything that you'd like to see, feel free to drop a comment down below. Leave a comment on what you thought of the event, any particular matches you really enjoyed, anything like that. Just a bit of interaction would be pretty cool. So yeah, until my next video, guys, that'll do it from me. I will catch you later. Bye for now.